featuring and doing the Fae Mushroom house. So this is part 5. I'm going to be doing some acrylic work and also some resin work. Quite a few things. I decided not to do the premiere, so we're just going straight up live. Okay, give me just 1 second here to flip you guys around. Welcome in. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. We have a lot of light in here today, by the way. Show all my inclusions of my mess too, right? Okay, so here we go. Hi, Yometo. Welcome in. Nice to see you. I really mean that. I didn't know if anybody would show up today or not. All right, so I'm trying to get my arm adjusted here on the fairy house. There's quite a bit still to do. Yeah, not quite sure why my arm's acting like this, but it is. There we go. That might be a little better. Not sure. Okay. Thank you for the wow. We're going to do quite a bit. I've already gotten the mushroom top finished. This is like part 5. So this whole mushroom was actually created out of polymer clay and also aluminum foil in order to fill it. Well, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate that. All right, awesome. So we're still working on this fairy mushroom house. We need to do some touch-up work here. And we will go from there. And we're also going to be doing the glass windows, which I'm going to be using alcohol ink for. And this is Stream, it's called. So it's a blue-green. But I want to work on the trees here too. So we're going to move this over here for a moment. Then I'll get back to that. So we're going to get with these little trees here I created. All right, and I've got to press my heat gun in here. I appreciate everyone being here. My cat Star is trying to entertain me right now, which I'm having to tell her to get down. All right, so we'll go from here. I'm getting ready to plug my heat gun in. This is going to make a little noise, folks, so I'm just warning you ahead of time. I've got to reach over here under my desk to do this. Hopefully everyone will show up. Since I was actually supposed to be in here at 3:30. Heat gun going, folks. Fair warning. We're actually sealing this in. Kind of a I'm just sealing this up a little. Got some stones over here. I'm going to be adding a few more mushrooms. This is normally not what I do, folks. So my work is usually wire and metal working. And if you've seen my stuff before, then you know that I'm a pretty good artist. I just decided to do this out of fun. It's sort of like almost a comedy version of a Fae Mushroom house. We're just working on setting it, getting it to set. Alright, I'm going to turn that off, a little less noise. And We'll also be adding some of these around it, which are like wood tree slabs. Hopefully to sort of give it a look that's a little more natural. It is kind of cartoonish, but that's okay because we're going to dress it up. This is only part 5. We have one more part to go through, so there's quite a bit still left to do. Thank you everyone for showing up. I really appreciate your support and being here. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I see there are 18 people, it says, in the house. So we shall see where this goes, huh? Okay, so I'm going to be using, we're going to be doing some touch-ups. Then I'm going to be using resin in this also. By the way, just so you know, quite a few different things going on here. I'm looking for, maybe it's over here, yep. Here we go. Looking for the green to go with the tree here, which we're going to later add leaves onto it and all that too. So it should be pretty cool. Thank you for everybody being here. Don't forget to thumb up the live. I really appreciate it. The thumbs up really help. Please don't sit and not thumb up because I need your support. All right. Okay. Like I said, this isn't normally what I do. I usually do wire and other work, but this was just a fun project. There we go. I was going to say, I got a problem. My paint is gooey. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I really appreciate it. Okay. There are quite a few people that were supposed to be in here today. I don't see them, but hopefully they will be some of my mods, too. So we're going to be using some black river stone around this, too, which is really pretty and looks really neat. Oops, sorry. I didn't realize I had everything in front where no one could see what was going on here. All right. Thank you for everyone being in here. Please don't forget to thumb up the live while you're here. I really appreciate it. Okay. So we're just using a little non-fancy paintbrush because we're going to paint this here, which I'm going to literally remove off of here where I set it up. Trying to adjust this. And we're going to paint the tree. We're actually going to paint it green. I'm not using my airbrush because it would just make a mess in here because I don't have a box behind this to do it with an airbrush. Hopefully everyone will like it. By the time it's all over, it should be gorgeous. So we're just painting up the tree limbs right now. I mean, I'm just using polymer clay, folks. It's nothing fancy. I do have air dry clay and stuff, but that's not what this is about. Almost looks like Romper Room, only this is for adults. Hopefully I can get this covered pretty good. Everything is sort of cartoonish because it is fantasy, folks. It's a faux fairy Fae Mushroom house created from polymer clay, and we still have quite a few steps to go through to finish it up. And I'm just using an apple barrel, which is a crafter's paint, by the way. Anyone can buy it. I'm not sponsored by Walmart or anywhere, but you can buy it in Walmart pretty reasonably. Okay. Wow. This looks pretty natural, not too bad. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate everybody showing up. I did a live instead of Premiere because I had trouble with the Premiere the last time. So there you go. All right. I really need to bring a cup of water in here. I may have to go get a cup of water, folks. So, because I need to be able to wash the brushes out. We've got a couple more trees to do here to add. And then I'm going to use Bacon Bond as usual because I don't like the smell of E6000, but you can use E6000 if you want. Don't forget to thumb up the live while you're in here, folks. I really appreciate it. Make sure you thumb up and subscribe. I'm actually a canvas and a jewelry artist. But this was just a fun thing to do. So I appreciate everybody being here. This is Bacon Bond. We're going to use this to attach it to the floor here, which is a green grass. There we go. Not too bad. Kind of cute, I think. Let me see if I can get that turned around more. I want this to turn around more this way. There we go. And we'll be fine anyway because we're going to put some lines down here, which by doing this is sort of giving the bottom of the tree a real look. Because not all roots and everything are right in the ground. And this will be changed. The color to this too will be changed on the bottom. Thank you so much for everyone being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you for showing up. Don't forget to say hi. Let me know where you're from. Okay. That is going to have to be cut with a drill, I guess, if I want to make it smaller. All right. So we're also, I've got to get a cup of water, guys. I'm so sorry. Give me just a second here while I go get a cup of water to clean out these brushes. And then we'll be adding another tree on the other side. Of course, I got really good light in here today, and I'm trying to make sure everybody can see what I'm actually doing. Sorry about that. All right. Give me just a moment, folks. I'll be right back. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There is really cool stuff coming up in a couple of weeks. I will actually be working. Don't judge me by the fairy house. I'll be working on some hand-hammered and torch work. I'm pretty good at it, even if I got to pat myself on the shoulder for it. So, but in the meantime, we're doing the Fae Fairy sort of comic book live of a faux house. And these windows are going to be changed to stained glass windows. So thank you for being here, everyone. Give me one moment. I need to grab a small cup of water so that I can wash my brushes. I don't usually do this. This is still considered mixed media, folks, because you're using acrylic and clay and wood and stone. It's not just, oil paints or acrylic paints or metals and wires. It's all considered mixed media. Give me one moment. I'm going to grab some water to clean out those brushes. Thank you again so much for being here. I need to start wearing my mic so you guys can hear me on the other side of the room. I'm almost back, folks. I need to start wearing a mic so you guys can hear me. Welcome in, everyone. We're working on a Fae Fantasy Mushroom house. We're doing the base. We're using all different kinds of things from acrylic to polymer clay to stones to wood. So there's my water. Oops. Plus I'm gonna need to pour some of that water in a smaller container because I'm gonna be using the alcohol ink to do the windows. Okay. Okay, the type of clay, Crazy a lot, welcome in, I appreciate that. It's just polymer clay, Primo, Kato, and Zernit. I'll tell you in a minute. So I used 3-4 different types of clay this time. But we're going to seal this all too. It's all going to get resin sealed. Just so you know, resin and maybe some Mod Podge. I doubt it. I'll probably use 2-part resin to seal it. Welcome in, Hamburger Egg W6X. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I went to get some water because I'm getting acrylic paint all over the area where I normally work on other projects, and I don't want that to happen either. Just use a really inexpensive brush, folks. I don't use my good art brushes when I'm doing this because this is not me painting a canvas. Like I said, this was just a fun project, and I was supposed to have a premiere today, and I decided not to do the premiere and just go live. I'm just trying to clean up some of the mess. So don't forget to thumb up the live, folks, and don't forget to subscribe and like. There's more content coming, trust me. This is just a fun project that I started that I thought was fun and something to lull away a little bit of time and teach other people that you can do anything that you set your mind to. All right, let me get this back over here. This water tray thing out of the way. Oops. I'm really scrunched in here today. My working space is limited. I'm in the middle of trying to soften up some clay. Normally I'm using a electric pasta machine, which I will still probably be using. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you being here. Sorry it just takes a minute to do some of this. We're working on the trees right now to the Fae Mushroom house. It's a lot of fun, folks, and it's just a layback, chill kind of tutorial where I've already told most of the parts in my previous ones, and now we're just flattening out some green Cernit I'm using. This is Cernit clay. And we're going to mash this up on the end of here. It's going to be the part of the tree that goes into the ground. Yeah, just like that. Whoops. Just like this. I got green clay right under my nail. So I'm just using my hand to squeeze it up around the tree branch. These are actually broken off little branches that I found outside to make my trees into. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. So I'm just going to press that down. And then when I actually put it on the surface, I will take this part and round it up so that it'll have like veins, just like that one does, has a vein running through there. And this will be pretty cool because just like with black lights and stuff, this really shows well. And it also is going to be pretty awesome when I do these stained glass windows in this little house here. It should be pretty awesome. Okay. Now I'm going to get my brush loaded up again. I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water. And I'm just putting it right down into my green acrylic paint. And we're just going to paint this. There's no right or wrong way to do this, folks. Just make sure you use a cheaper brush anytime you're doing this kind of stuff, because you don't want to ruin good art brushes on this. Whoa, sorry I hit the camera. Thank you so much for everyone being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you thumb up the live. It really helps with the algorithm, and I really appreciate it too. There'll be more stuff coming in about a couple of weeks. I'll be doing some more wire wrapping of Metal Raccoon stones, his glass stones he creates. And I'll also be doing some hand-hammered metal work, which I'll be doing what they call annealing, which is softening the metals with flame, which means I'll use a torch. And no, I don't have a mixed gas torch. It's a butane torch, but it works just fine for what I need because it burns at over 2,000 strength. Thank you so much for everyone being here. I really appreciate it. We have sunshine here today, but the winds are really high. I'm praying that nothing happens tonight and that we go back into the storm session, which kept me from being live and kept me from showing up because of that, unfortunately. So this is kind of neat because this tree branch here has some cracks in it, so it kind of gives it some character. It also makes it look like they're, you know, trees are actually aged by the rings in them when they're cut. How many rings tell how many hundreds of years old they are. So like I said, this is sort of a kiddish project, but it's for adults. So we get to be a kid for the next few days while I finish up all this. And we're just using some apple barrel acrylic marsh green. Whoops. And our faux fairy people will be very happy once they get their home all done. It should be pretty amazing. There we go. It's very cartoonish looking, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, okay. And we're going to put another tree up here at this side, right on the edge. And I'm going to also use some bacon bond there too. Whoa. Thank you for everybody coming. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate all the thumbs up. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live. And make sure you subscribe. There are other things coming. My channel does a lot of artwork and jewelry. And also metal and canvas work. This was just a fun project. Oh, I forgot. My paint's still wet. Luckily, acrylic paint washes off with water and soap at the worst. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. All right, give me just a second here. Where's everybody from? Anybody got any preferences? When about next week when I start my metal work, I'll be working with crystals and gemstones as well as annealing and hand hammering and shaping metals. Okay, so I used some black river rock here because I thought it was rather fitting with the fairy house. I don't want to make it any larger than this because I wouldn't have any place to keep it in my house. So we're going to take the cap off here, and we're getting ready to, I'm going to color in this part, and we're going to color this too. While those trees are drying up that are here, the trees on the end of each side. And these are river rocks, like I said, black river stone, which normally, believe it or not, I make black river stone into jewelry. But we're using it for the fairy house today, so there you go. Can everybody hear me okay? I had problems with my sound the other day, so I didn't know if everyone could hear okay. All right. So mushrooms are also called toadstools. And of course, out in the wild, they're all different colors, but this seems to be the favorite one, the red and white toadstool, which actually I think is rather amusing because anyone, no copyright, okay? Here, YouTube, but anyone who's a gamer that's a Mario fan knows about these types of mushrooms because they're all over the game. So I thought it was fitting to make the house more cartoonish. But these actually do exist in the real world, out in the forests. There actually are beautiful. If you can pull up any documentaries, there are beautiful, bright red mushrooms with little white fungus dots all over the top. So they really do exist. They are extremely poisonous, folks. They are not edible by any means. So we're going to keep working here. Give me just 1 minute while I get some other things mixed up here to use with this Fae Fairy Mushroom house. And we're going to be working on coloring this too. I had Andrew Art by Me in here the other night, who also goes by Will Hat, who is out of Sydney, Australia, also a great tangle and doodle artist. So he was suggesting, you know, black or gray. So I'm going to do a black gray in between the lines for the mushroom on the top part. It should be rather interesting, folks. It says I have 2 people in here, so please don't forget to thumb up the live, say hi, let me know who you are. Are you an artist? Or are you just hanging out? Alrighty. I'm looking at some of my paints over here and stuff. I wish, in fact, I'm thinking about it, if I can move this back a little further. Yeah, I knew that was kind of going to happen. So I have to put some more green on there or get the piece off of this bottom. I'm going to set it a little further back so that I can have a small walkway in front of the fairy house. So we're just going to press this green back in here like that. I get a few more pieces to fill in those spots. I wanted to do that for the last 2 days, but I didn't do it. Okay. Press that down there. Press it back. And then how I got the texture was using a fork. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to press it down, and then I'm going to texture in these grooves too so they don't show. I'm just getting that pressed down in there because I needed to move the Fairy Faux House back so that I'm able to do a little pathway in front of it coming out from the front where the door is. How's everybody doing today? I really appreciate you being here. I really do. It means a lot. I get bored real easy doing stuff. So, like, I'm ready to finish my house and get this done. The Fae Fairy Mushroom house. But there's quite a bit to still do on it to do it properly. And it's fun, folks. Believe me, it is. It's a lot of fun. So we're just kind of scraping this up and poking it so I can get it, hopefully, to get that rough texture look, which looks like grass. Oh, sorry about that. I got that right in the way and you guys couldn't see what I was doing. We're just roughing that up a little bit and using the fork to get the texture in there. As you can see, that smooth part is gone now. I'm going to turn this around, add some more here where this line from the jar came to fill that in. So yeah, we're just going to roll it between our hands, kind of warms it up. It's still pretty cold out here, folks. It was 34 last night and it's 38 now. So it hasn't warmed up too much, and the day before was nothing but rain and high winds, which knocked out service in my area for my net. I mean, when I say this, I mean the service was poor. Okay. And we're just pressing this down so I can fill in that groove there. So that we can get this part looking like it's all a part of this grass again. And I just used a fork to texture it, kind of just poke it everywhere. And then once we get all the pokies in there, you want to poke in the little dabs of holes. Once you do that, you want to use the fork and drag it back across it, which will give it that grass look. It's actually pretty awesome. And we'll just use this to kind of shred it up, which is shredding the grass up so it looks more like grass. See there how it actually looks like grass? It's pretty neat. So it's a Fae Mushroom house. I'm moving this out of the way right now. Thank goodness I hadn't sealed it there. So I can get this grass in here done. Those are river rocks that we're going to be using around the house here. The Fae Mushroom house. It is a fantasy house, folks. It's just for fun. A chill, fun tutorial. Very easy to make. You just use your polymer clays and then just texturize them. I'm using a fork, so you know it doesn't take any special tools to do this. A household fork. Though I do say you probably don't want to eat off the fork again, even if you wash it. Okay. I'm going to re-texture some of this because it got smushed a little bit. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate the thumbs up. I see I had quite a few people in here, and then I lost quite a few people. But welcome back in, and thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Like I said, this is just a fun project, folks. If you've ever seen my jewelry or any of my real artwork, this is a fun project. This is not a masterpiece, not even close. Huh. Didn't take someone long to come and go. Sorry about that. My system went down. Hey, Wool Hat, how are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I look like a ras today. Anyway, we're working on this. I'm trying to get my hands not to cramp up. Wool Hat, they're cramping like crazy. But I didn't do the premiere. So I worked on getting this grass redone up here on it, Wool Hat, because I had to move it back because I want to be able to make sure there's a longer way to get up here. And then, of course, I've got river rock here I'm using, which I normally wrap. Don't forget to thumb up the live, everyone. It really does help with the algorithm. Wow. And I'm going to seriously see about possibly buying a new arm this next payday. because this is really, it really, really, really is quite a nightmare right now. Let's swipe up next stream. What are you talking about, Willhat? I'm not sure what you're talking about. My stream shut down for a second because I was trying to correct some things. Are you saying you want to go away, Willhat? I'm not sure what you're saying. So, folks, don't forget to thumb up the live and like it and subscribe. Hey, Dorothy, welcome in. I appreciate you being here, lady. We are finishing up. Well, I am not gonna finish this by any means, but I've been painting the little trees. It's like romper room for the adults, okay? But it's gonna be really cool when it's done, I promise you. I painted both of these trees, and I've got some river rock in here. And we're gonna twist this around this bottom. Sorry, I talk and nobody can see a darn thing I'm doing. Oops. Maybe my tree stump is not that strong. Can't take the power of the clay. Okay. So we're just using this as the bottom part of the tree to attach it to the grass base of the fairy Fae mushroom tree. It's gone now. That could just be a glitch. I'm telling you, Willhat, there's been some glitches. Hey, folks, don't forget to thumb up the live. Dee, I know that you're still a moderator, but you're new here with stuff. So if you click up on the little head where you see the number 2, because that's showing you and Willhat here, if you click on that, it'll give you the opportunity to click the thumbs up. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. I'm telling you, I've got high winds here today and sunshine, and it's 34 degrees. All week, we had horrific storms out here in the mountains of Georgia. Was Walk in the Rain or somebody who said that maybe I should consider a better service, and I tried to explain to her how I pay for everything, but to be honest with you, there is no other service out here unless you are closer to a big major town, and we are not. We are out in the mountains, folks. Out in the mountains and sticks. And there isn't a whole lot here except for tourist stuff. So I'm going to put some bacon bond on the end of this tree. We're going to also do the windows are going to be stained glass, and we're going to be working on this too, Willhat. We're going to be changing the color underneath this mushroom cap to the gray and black. I'm glad it's gone. How are you doing today, Dorothy? Dorothy's a good friend of mine too, Willhat. She's here in the United States. I've known her since I was in my 20s. So she's a nice person. She's really neat. Okay, and she's a artist too, but I'm trying to get her to go on and do some videos so people can see her work. She is an amazing artist. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Dorothy, that you still got that cold. And you know I'm not used to your screen name. So I do my best not to call you by your nickname, or you do your best also not to do it to me. And I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm trying to think. What do you guys think? I want your opinion. I think it would be easier for me to use some black and gray paint down here in the mushroom crevices. to color this than trying to add more clay to it, and it will keep it from destroying the mushroom veins in it. What do you guys think? Did they put you on an antibiotic? Dorothy, did they put you on an antibiotic for the cold? And hopefully you're drinking plenty of fluids. That means water, not Mountain Dew. I love you, but you know, and I know you. So this is a quick drying. Oh, good. Thank goodness. So what do you think about using this? I'm going to use some, it's called Pavement. So it's kind of a black gray paint to do the inside of this mushroom. Dorothy and Wilhat, also known as Andrew, by Art by Andrew, and he's a great artist, people. He's a doodle and a canvas artist. If you haven't subscribed to him already, please do, and go check out his channel. Same for Dorothy. She is working on getting other stuff up there. I think right now we have a movie listing for her, but other than that, she's a great artist too. If she'll just get online and do her work, would be amazing. Okay, so I'm going to get this. I got to move all this back. Like I have so much room here, I don't. And we're going to open up this Made in the USA, and I am not sponsored. This Pavement color acrylic. And by the way, folks, when I do my airbrushing, I actually use these in my airbrush and use a thinner. And they work great. I learned from another artist how to do it. I know that everybody's not into fairy houses and this kind of fantasy stuff, but it's a lot of fun. And it does make a difference. So I'm just going to do a dab here right on my tile right here. Trying to make it so you guys can see. Whether I can see or not is something else. So there's that. And this one's quite thin, so it's not as thick as normally they are. And we're just using an inexpensive, like watercolor, inexpensive, cheap brush. I have real art brushes, but I am not using them for this. So I'm going to dab a little bit of my water over here that you can see me doing. And then we're going to mix this out. This is called Pavement. And I'm going to use a paper towel because we're going to be doing what they call like a dry brushing effect. When you dry brush, you don't use much paint. See there? And then we're going to do it again. I'm going to do it there. And then I'm going to take the paper towel, believe it or not, and rub it on here. So this is how we're going to get that natural gray black under the mushroom. On suggestion by Wilhat. And then we're going to take some of it off. I have a lot of grooves in here because mushrooms have a tendency to what? Have veins underneath them, and that's what these are, veins. I'm also painting this clay, and it's not set yet, so there we go. Then we're going to use the paper towel. Thank you for all the thumbs up. Don't forget to thumb up the live, folks. It really helps with the algorithm. Gets people in here, even if they're not into Fae Fairy Mushroom, Polymer clay houses. they'll be into the other things I do. If they subscribe, they will actually see a lot of other art content, which is way beyond this. But there's nothing wrong with this, folks. It's a lot of fun. It's just a fun tutorial project. And if you watch my videos before this, you can see actually how I created all of this. I'm just using this to dabble it so that it looks more like fungus and not paint. There we go. So there you go. You can see how that looks, sort of like stippled fungus under the mushroom. Folks, don't forget to thumb up the live, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And please don't swipe away. Apparently my thing says swipe away. Do not do that. I don't know why it says that. This is not a short. This is a actual live that I did not do a premiere as I was going to. I'm working on making the bottom to this tree. Just having some fun here, folks. Just living it up in the clay world of polymer clay. And we're just having some fun making a fairy faux mushroom house. And I'm waiting for this to dry, but I'm going to set it up here on the top so it's at least up here. Trying to make it so everybody can see. Oh, so tell people to go out and come back in and it'll fix it. Awesome. Awesome. It's just crazy, Will Hat. So look, Will Hat, I did what you said, and I also dry brushed it and then used a paper towel on it. What do you think of that? That's with the pavement black gray to sort of give it that, I guess what you would call mold look, because it's a mushroom. I don't know how well everybody can see that. Let me see if my other camera light will bring this up any better. I'm going to have to move this in order to do that. Lighting, relight on, that might help some. Okay, so here is what I did as you suggested, Will Hat, and this is dry brush, by the way. It's going to take it a while to dry, literally dry. I'm going to do a little of something more up here because it almost looks like the clay is cracked there, and it's not. It's from that. So let me try. This also is kind of dry brushing, folks. It's just where I added water to it. So there's actually no paint on the brush now. A little bit of paint there, though. And then I'm going to wipe that off. Trying to get a little bit of that down closer to the head of the mushroom. Of course, nobody's going to see this when it's on the top except for the person pulling it off their piece. We're going to take a paper towel to this and dab it a little bit. If I'm not seeing your words, forgive me. I'll try pulling this back up so I can see everybody in here. Thank you so much, Will Hat. I really appreciate it. And of course, the part in the middle right here hasn't been done, so I need to decide on that, how that's going to look. Maybe even put some strain lines into that. Let's see if I can pull you guys up here and turn this around so that you can see underneath it, which I'm going to also color this right here, this cap, so we don't have a gold cap under there. And these are river rocks, by the way, folks. We're going to use these for, they're black river rock. I used to wrap those in wire. They actually look beautiful wrapped in wire. Okay. And we're going to work on this again. And I'm going to use this here. Try to make some veins in the bottom of this. You get free cat hair too, folks, free of charge. Just making some sort of veins and pokies down here. Because this is the bottom part of the tree stem that's actually going into the ground. And I don't know why, if you guys see them every once in a while, I'm sorry, but I have fruit flies for some reason, and I can't find anything that's gone bad in my house. I thought I got rid of the dead bananas, and I'm still having problems. So we're just doing some lines here and stuff. And they're driving me nuts too, guys. If you see me batting every once in a while, it's because these little fruit flies are everywhere. And they haven't made Boss Kitty too happy either. She's still chasing them. So we're just making this so it has a rough texture on the bottom because it's supposed to be part of the tree and the root. And I'm going to actually add wire to these, folks, so that they can have branches. Thank you so much, Willhat. I appreciate all your positivity and for always being here. And you too, Dorothy, another inspiring artist. She just needs to get her work up online. She's an amazing artist too, Willhat. You should see some of her drawings. They're beautiful. Okay, so we're just having fun, even though it's for adults only. We are just having fun. Okay, I think that really looks better with the bottom like that. So I'm going to use some Bacon Bond to seal it on. And next, we will be adding resin to this because we're going to resin most of it, so that it'll have a nice shine and glow. I've got little speckles of clay in here. Hopefully I can get them out. Maybe I can pick them out. I don't know. Got some pieces of yellow. Trying to get them out of here. Little details, you know, so it'll look as best as it can. The stained glass windows are going to look amazing, folks. I promise you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Don't forget to thumb up the live, like, and subscribe. In the next 2 weeks, I will be putting out hand-hammered torch jewelry along with wrap stones from Mental Raccoon. Trying to get these little spare pieces out of here. Whites and stuff that aren't supposed to be in our green grass. I wish I had some smaller rocks that I could actually make a paved thing here. I may do it anyway. I may make some stones out of clay and actually make a stone cobblestone walkway in front of the house. Yeah, that's fine. Are you fixing dinner for everybody, Dorothy? We're all hungry. We're all hungry. Okay, so we have another tree piece here, which is going to be, I'm trying to think, should I put it there? Should I put it there? And I want to break this one a little more. Oh, wait a minute, I have another piece of tree. These are actually these are actually off a tree branch, so I use these to make the tree branches. So we're going to have two more like this, and I'll show you. I'll move the camera back so you can see that I'll have another one over here to the right, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the right. Okay, what are you fixing for dinner, Dorothy? We're all ready. We're ready to eat. So I got to get some more green out, and boy, am I low on green. I was going to do 4 pieces of balsa wood for the ground. This was supposed to be bigger than it was originally. But because I ran out of green and I needed green for the bottoms of the trees, I had to kind of shorten up the ground in front of it and behind it in the fairy house. So we're just softening some more of this up to put on another tree bottom. And as I get each tree bottom on, then I will be painting them. And I don't know if you guys can even really tell, but if you really look close, like these are already painted. It's just this type of green paint that I used, which makes it look more natural. So it kind of blends in. So I'm just softening this clay up. I really appreciate everyone being here, and I really appreciate all the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and let me know you're here. And there's going to be more stuff coming up. Trust me, folks, it's going to be great. All right. So I'm just flattening this little green piece of clay out. I got green paint on my hand. In fact, I got black paint all over my arm wheel hat from doing the mushroom. Okay. So we're going to get this on the bottom of here like this. Push it up, wrap it around, kind of pinch it. Do that again. We sort of have to have a bottom on this for it to sit up. I'm just sort of pressing it into the top part of this tree branch here. And we're doing this so I'll be able to also make lines in it so it'll be more like the bottom of the tree where the roots and stuff are. Now, folks, I could have made this into a more realistic one, but that would have, I might as well have been sculpting with air clay, which I do. So we're going to do this to make the lines in the polymer clay. This is Cernit, by the way. You don't have to use Cernit. You can use a green Primo. It's less expensive. Does the same thing. I'm just trying to get little gouges and lines because we're making this into the base, which is where the roots are. Some lines are light, some are deeper. Same way it would be out in nature. And we're making a fairy faux polymer clay mushroom house. I'm just going around here and pressing this down to make a lip so that it will fit onto the ground here. There we go. Just like that. I've got green clay under my nail and probably green paint too, for all I know. I'm going to put this one up here, right here, like that. And then I'm going to paint it so it will be green. I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. I mean, I do a lot of jewelry work. That's why there's jeweler stuff all over. Okay. This one's kind of leaning over, trying to get it to sit back up there. Now we're going to paint this. I'm just using an inexpensive paintbrush, folks. Don't use your expensive art brushes to do this. I mean, unless you're doing a replica of, I don't know, some kind of house out in the desert or something. This is fantasy. This is not the opposite. Okay, so we're using marsh green for the trees. Wow, it sounds so good, Dee. You know I don't eat meat anymore, but just make me hungry. That's okay. See if I mind. Sounds delicious, Dee. I mean, Dorothy. Sounds delicious. Okay, so we're going to put a little green there because I'm going to be using this on more than one tree stem here. I'm so glad to have Will Hat and everybody here, and Dorothy. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm looking for the cap to the marsh green. I'm just going to brush this on the tree here. And we're going to be adding later, we're going to be adding wire branches to this, which I'm going to cover. And be able to add leaves. And I like it that these branches sort of have cracks in them because it's more like a natural tree. And this green will look different as it goes because it is a marsh green, so it's not a typical green, bright green. We're just getting this done up here. This is not a kid's stream. This is an adult stream, adult art. We're just having some fun here with a Fae Mushroom house. You just make simple strokes on the piece of wood, and you can go out in your yard and what? Get branches and break them off and shape them to the size you need in order to have the trees on your landscape for your Fae Mushroom house. Everyone can do this. It's a lot of fun. And this one's not made for outdoors. This Fae house is made for in your house. And I'm going to be coloring that gold rim up there and stuff too. And it unscrews and you can put all your little baubles in it. You know, jewelry, rings. I don't know. I guess you could use it as a change jar too if you wanted to. Put it on your dresser or your desk. It's going to really look amazing when this is all done. Just a lot of work. And then I'm going to be sealing, most of it's going to be sealed in 2-part resin, which is where the part 6 is coming in, which will be tomorrow. I'm trying to get as much as I can get done here today so that we'll be closer to a ending point, but yet a beginning. Okay, oops, I just stuck my fingers in the green paint on the tree branch, which you could not see. And then we're going to just take this paper towel and damp it and dab it off because I want it to look natural, folks. That's the idea. That it looks as natural as possible for the tree parts anyway. And that kind of gives it a matte finish instead of being shiny. There we go. And it gives the tree even more texture. Can you guys see how much more texture is on there? That's from pushing the paper towel on it. We'll give it ribs like throughout the tree, which I think is neat. Okay, so now we're going to use some more bacon bond. I just need to find my bacon bond that was sitting here. Where is it? Oh, okay, over here. Luckily, I have 2 bottles of this stuff. It goes a long ways, though. It lasts forever. And I bought it back when it wasn't quite as expensive, but it is still, I don't know, I think $8 or $9. Okay, so we're just going to put a little dab there. You don't really need a lot. I'm only using a little extra on here because this is the bottom of the tree and I want it to sit up. Trying to keep my hands from cramping. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the next 2 weeks, I'll be coming up to do some metal work. I'll be making probably a ring to start with. I don't say a couple rings because I can never get it to that point where I'm doing it that fast. So that and a bracelet. Hand-hammered torch work, folks. I'm so glad to have everyone here. You're doing great. I really appreciate it. We are working on a Fae Mushroom house. And you know what, guys? I went right past. Nobody said anything either. You say, oh, you didn't put your lines in that one. I didn't. So now I'm going to have to do it while it's here. I'm going to have to actually hold it and scrape the lines in here. Wow. So it looks more like it's coming out of the ground and that it's roots. Okay, I'm going to turn this around to keep doing this. Hopefully everybody can see while the little black flies try to drive me crazy while I'm doing this. I don't know why they like me. Maybe I'm decaying. I don't think so. A little bit of a dark sense of humor there. Okay. Oops, sorry, my hand getting completely in the way for you guys to see even. Okay. Just sort of doing this so that it's like the roots are coming up out of the ground. And I'm seriously thinking that going back and touching some of this up with some brown on the bottom. Maybe some Cernet. Not Cernet clay. It's a Cernet. It's a brown. It's like a desert type brown paint. There we go. Okay. Just trying to get some lines in here to do the bottom of these, the tree stumps. I knew this was going to be a little time consuming on certain things like the tree stumps and all that. Thank you so much for everyone being here. Don't forget to hang out. It helps with my watch time too. And I really appreciate that. Give me just 1 second here. My hands are cramping real bad. I need to take like a 5-minute break. I've been on 110 minutes plus, which means 1660 is 120, almost 2 hours. And that's just getting this and doing the top of this with the gray black, so it looks more like a mold, which is really what a mushroom is. We all know mushrooms grow from mold. And they like dark places too. It's really not sunny and, like we're creating it. But that's how they grow and that's how they come out of the earth, which is amazing. And I love eating mushrooms too. I love to cook with them. Just not these, not the red and white dot ones. They're poisonous. Hey, Mental Raccoon. Yay, internet, right? We just pray it keeps doing well. So I'm still working on this and my trees. I knew this was going to take a while, folks. Don't forget to thumb up the live and like it and, hang out a few minutes, drink a cup of coffee and you can watch me work. We're going to make the glass windows here too. We're going to make them stained glass windows. And I was able to get this done, Mental, to get what Andrew said that we should do to make it look moldy. So that's what we did. So now we have a moldy underneath. It's done with pavement color and water and dry brushing. Yeah, I got internet. I don't know if I'm going to have any issues. We've got really high winds out here today, and it's really weird because it's been storming and like almost like hurricane weather, and I didn't think they had any kind of weather out here like that the last week or so. And so today we have high winds out there. I could hear the wind before, right through the window here. And we're at 34 degrees, folks. There shouldn't be any of that, right? If it's winter time, we shouldn't be having this kind of weird weather. But we had a few days that we were up in the 60s. That's why. Blown away the progress. You mean by the progress? Okay. Give me just a second, folks. I've got to grab myself some medicine because my hands are cramping real bad, and it is going on almost 2 hours. And we're going to be using 2-part resin in this project too, folks. And I brought out, just so you know, like I used to wrap some of this, which I love. This is Black River Rock, which I think is really pretty. And you can wrap it, but I'm going to use it in my fairy house here too, a few pieces of it. But I have wire wrapped that before and set it into pieces, and it looks gorgeous. It really does. Mental, it really does. I just thought I'd tell you about that. That's actually River Rock. It's not from the local Home Depot. It's the real thing. So give me 1 second, folks. I don't have a mic on with a headset. So when I walk out of the room to go get what I need so my hands don't cramp up so bad where I can't work at all, you may not be able to hear me. I'll be right back. Give me just a minute, folks. I should have brought it in here. I know that my hands are going to cramp up after 2 hours. Be right back. Be right back, folks. Give me just a moment here. Looking for this, and I take the cramps in my hands and the spasms in my lower back, which I get too by sitting there so long. Just a second, folks. Give me just a moment. I'll be right back. for your patience. Thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate it. All right, just give me one moment, folks. I'll be right in. One moment. I'll be right back. Okay. Hopefully that didn't take too long. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I really appreciate it. Just getting my stuff to keep my back from phasing out and my hands. Are you leaving, Will Hat? All right, my man. Thank you for thumbing up the line. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being so positive. I'm still working. Yeah, well, I did a lot, didn't I? The bricks are all done. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. So, we're going to, I think I did that one. Did I do this one? Yeah, we're going to put some bacon bond on the bottom of this. Trying to move this up some so everybody can see what I'm doing. Or at least most of what I'm doing. You don't need a whole lot. You just need enough so that it'll adhere to the other clay. Wow, come on now. I need this to open up. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, Mental Raccoon. Thank you, Will Hat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate all the support and the thumbs up. Next week, and the next week, I will be working on some literal hand hammering metal and welding and stuff, along with a couple of Mental Raccoon glass pieces. Okay. So far, I have painted each one of these little tree stumps with Marsh Green, which is an acrylic paint. And by the way, you don't have to buy the most expensive acrylic paints. Just because it comes in a tube doesn't mean it's better. These paints work great. I've used them when I do my airbrushing. Maybe one day, Menno, I'll have it where I have enough so that people will be able to use the little icons as soon as I can get my subscribers up. We just got to get me up to 1,000 subs. Then we can go from there. Okay, we're spinning this around because we're going to put another tree back here on this side. We're going to use some more of that Cernit green clay. That's so expensive. That's meant for really jewelry stuff, but I used it for this, and that's why I didn't get 4 pieces of balsa wood covered, because I didn't have enough. So we're just going to soften this up so it'll fit around the bottom of the tree to make sure that we have a, to make sure that we have a tree stump here with veins that look like where the tree is actually coming from the ground. Get that back some. go. And I'm just softening this up. As I said, folks, it's only 34 degrees out here, and I really have my heat up in my place. And I'm not a heat lover, but the heat has to be up some, or this clay would be worse than this is right now. And we're just smushing this out so that we can wrap it up around the little tree thing here that's going to be our actual tree. And I'm going to use wire, folks. We're going to use wire to make branches on these trees. Okay, now we're going to put this on the bottom of here, just like that. Just any way that you can kind of smush it around so it stays. Just press that down, pinch up the sides like that. And then we're going to push that around some. Smooth it around with your thumb and forefinger. We are making a Fae Mushroom fantasy house. I am mixed media artist Lydia. I do metal work and canvas work, folks. This was just a fun project. I thought it would be fun. A lot of people seem to like it, including Will Hat. Everybody seems to think it's kind of cool, so I like that. Because I'm a big kid at heart, even though this is for adults only. I'm just sort of pushing that down, because I'm going to put lines in this, and we want to make it look more like it's a tree stump into the tree, which makes the roots show up. There we go. I'm just using a little piece of metal here to sort of give it the lines in here. Just pulling up there to make the lines throughout the bottom of the tree stumpy root, because these are supposed to be kind of living, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to end up creating them so they look like they're alive and not dead trees. This is not a Gothic house. It's a fantasy fairy faux house. Let's make these lines here. And trees aren't perfect either when they're coming out of the ground. So that we have root lines here and stuff. This is time consuming, but it's fun, and it actually is going to look really good when it's done. And it'll look even better before it's all over with. All right, Will Hat, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate the support. I think it's really early in the morning, or maybe, I'm not even sure, because there's such a time difference between here and Sydney, Australia, actually, where Will Hat's out of. And everybody, don't forget to subscribe and like Will Hat. He has a channel. He is Andrew Art by Me. And don't forget to subscribe and follow Mental Raccoon Glass, another great artist, and Dorothy Gay, another great artist who's coming of age. She will be getting her stuff up soon. I've seen her work, so I know she's a good artist. Okay, now we're going to put some more bacon bond out here on the bottom. I'm using quite a bit here because I want this to actually really adhere good, because we're not baking this literally. We are going to be putting resin on this baby, and that will help this fairy faux house. And these windows are going to become stained glass windows. I'm going to be using some stream resin ink along with some resin. Stream alcohol ink along with some resin to create the actual illusion of a stained window glass. Now, I made the mistake. I just stuck this down and I need to paint this branch and I didn't. So we're going to paint it while it's there. All right, so we're going to get some green here on the brush. You don't have to use a real expensive brush, folks. Trying to make it so everybody can see what I'm doing. You don't have to use a real expensive brush. Just use a cheap paint brush. You don't want to use your good brushes that you use with your actual art. I mean, this is art too, but it's not like you use on a canvas. Okay, so we're just going to hold this here and brush this brush up and down here so we get it more in line with the bottom. I may have to cut my light on here. I'm actually losing light here. Yep, there we go. That'll help. I'm saying it's starting to get dark in here. All right. Folks, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please come back because in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be starting to work on some metal art as well as doing up some more of Mental Raccoon's glass beads, which he gave me permission to do. All right. There we go. I think it's going to look really cool, folks. I really do. I want a little more green on this tree too, because it is a marsh green, so it's not, it's like a matte. It doesn't look shiny, folks. It's like a matte green. And we're going to be attaching wires to this so that we can make the branches coming out from the trees, folks. This is a Fae Mushroom house. If you guys see a little black fly every once in a while, I'm so sorry. I have got fruit fly invasion. I'm doing everything I can to get rid of them. They're driving me nuts and Boss Kitty. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to thumb up the live, and please hang out. It gives me watch time, even if you got to go drink a cup of coffee. I really appreciate it. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this around so that I can work on these other trees to go over them some more with this green. If you can see with the light, you'll see that the green is very, very mute, which means it's a marsh green. Thank you, everyone, for being in here. I really appreciate it. And these are river rock stones that we're going to use in the creation. They're just laying here right now. We're going to actually use them to go from the doorway out. And I'm also going to make some stones here, like little square gray stones, so that it looks like cobblestones are here, which I think will look great. So we need to touch up a little more green here, especially back here where I missed. I didn't even realize I missed it. Turn you guys back around this way so you can see the Fae Mushroom Fantasy House. I got to turn this all the way around because this back right tree branch did not get any green on it back here. Not that anyone would actually notice, but I do, and I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to things, even if it's something as simple as this. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We are working on a Fae Mushroom house. Please remember to thumb up the live and to subscribe. In the next week or so, I'm going to be actually working on some of my metal art, which I think everybody will really love. Okay. Getting some more over here on this other little small tree here. And everybody, I don't know if everybody can see, so trying to see if everyone can see. Okay, thank you so much for your support. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm also trying to make sure that I put some of this marsh green down here within the clay so that it looks like it's meshed together. I'm going to do it over here too on this front left side. If you can't see it, I'll be turning around so you can soon. There we go. Do not use an expensive brush, folks. Use the most inexpensive brush you can to do this kind of work. Okay, so we're just touching up these trees here. We want to do down here too. We want to get some of that mesh green down here on the roots. That way it kind of all blends together. There we go. Awesome. So I'm going to be letting that dry just a little bit while I take a 2 or 3 minute break here because I'm in pain, okay? Which happens a lot when I work over an hour. I get severe back spasms and everything else. And I'm waiting for that medicine to kick in that I had just taken. I think it actually looks really cute. And it's coming together really well. We're going to do a stone walkway in front of the fairy house coming out from the door with these black river rocks off to the sides in different places. I haven't decided where they're going to actually go in this piece yet. And we're going to be doing, I'm going to be wrapping these with wire so that I can make branches coming out from these trees. While I'm taking my break, I'm always messing with stuff because I'm a perfectionist and I want it to look nice. I want it to look good. I like using that marsh green. I think it really blends in with the whole thing. It makes it look really well. So I appreciate everyone being here and supporting me. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. I do metal work as well as wrapping crystals. I do hand hammered and torch work. And we have a free fruit fly down there in my picture. That'll make it more like it's out in the woods, right? Natural fairy faux with flies included, baby flies. So just give me a moment here. I'm drinking some of my almond milk, trying to get my back to do a little better here. Keeping you guys focused on the piece that I'm working on. And I really appreciate everyone being here. I really do. And there's going to be a part 6, folks, because there's quite a bit of work detailed in this little fairy faux house, which is also going to have brickstones and wired branches from the trees, where I'm literally, folks, I'm going to make little teeny leaves and stuff to go on those wire branches. And I had already done the suggestion that Will Hat suggested, which was really a good suggestion. I used pavement and dry brushed this underneath so it looks like mold on the mushroom. Because we all know that mushrooms grow from what? Mold, of course. So it's a big piece, this top. Like I used aluminum foil, and then I filled. Well, I did it in strips, the white, and then I did the grooves for the part of the mushroom where it's like that, where it has the veins. And we're also going to do up here, we're going to do the cap so that's colored in to match, and then we're going to do the piece underneath there. We're going to do some gray there. So hang out, guys. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live. There's a part 6 coming up tomorrow. And we're going to be actually working in this in quite a bit of depth. And I have, where'd I put it? Okay, I have this disc here because I use these for my burning too, where I do wood burning. I'm going to actually cut this into probably pieces with my Dremel and lay the pieces out. I may even decide to use it as the walkway instead of stones. So I think it'll look pretty neat. You can see that. What does everybody else think? Excuse me. How's everybody doing today? You're in Organic Silver Moon Designs, LLG. I do metal and canvas, and I do airbrushing and hand hammering and torch work, and I wire wrap too. So I do quite a few different things. This was just a fun project I thought everyone would like. So we're going to mix up, because I don't want to do all the tree work today, but we're going to put the wires on the tree today. And then from there, we'll add aluminum foil to those tree branches because we've got to build them out. In fact, yeah, we're just using some inexpensive, durable aluminum foil. You don't have to use the most expensive aluminum foil. And we're going to use, I'm going to be using some of my copper wire to do the trees so that they have branches. So I will do one tree right now with branches. And I'm taking about, I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5 foot of copper wire. Can everybody see that? And that's what we're going to make the branches out of. We're going to do one tree to start with today. You can use a thicker and heavier wire, but it'll be harder to control. And you can use, whoops, sorry about that. You can use aluminum wire too for this if you prefer not to use your craft wire that you use for other stuff. So we're going to clip this in the middle, trying to make it as even as possible. I'm going to take some aluminum foil on part of it, not all of it, and we're going to wrap it halfway up, and then I'm going to hook the wire to the tree. Because we're making tree branches here. You just tear it in some squares here. They don't have to be perfect, folks. Just tear it. And then we're going to wrap it around the wire. Just like that. We're just giving the wire some stability and to look more like a branch is what we're doing. And I'm going to tear this piece off because we're going to keep going down this piece here. Yep. We're going to go all the way down this wire with the aluminum foil. You do want it to have a little thickness, not a lot, but a little, because these are small trees. I mean, you don't want huge branches on these little trees. Okay. I'm just kind of squishing it down. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's a tree. Okay, and then I'm going to cut right here. And then I'm going to use my jewelry pliers to make sort of a hoop down here like this. Yeah, just like that. I'm going to put that, I'm going to put one right like this and pull it around. we're just going to wrap that around there like that. There we go. You get the idea. And that's a branch on there, and we're going to do some more. I'm going to do several of those, and I'll be scrunching them down even further, making them even smaller. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And next week, we'll be getting into all my metal work and torch work, which is going to be a lot of fun. So we are in the process of making branches for this tree piece. I'm going to do this on quite a few of these. I'm just rolling it. Yep. And then we're going to squish it down because we don't want it too big. But we want it to be as natural as possible because when the clay lays on it, we want it to look more like a tree branch. And that's what we're trying to do. Move that out of the way. Move you guys back a little. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing. And then we're going to put another branch there like that. I may have to pick this up to take it off to do all this, but that's okay. If I have to, I will. There we go. I'm going to bend that one up a little, bend this one down. I have to wait until I see how it actually looks on here before I decide on a fixed way. There we go. And we're going to do several more down this way and down this way. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I'm Organic Silver Moon Designs. I'm a jewelry and a canvas artist. And I'm actually going to wrap these in the white clay. And then I'm going to take the marsh green and paint them. So now I do need a couple more pieces of aluminum foil here for that other piece of the wire. And just tear it in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're just using these. It's almost like paper mache, only with tin foil. And wrap that around there like that. I'm just squishing this down on the wire. Oops, got my wire up in there. I'm losing my wire. There we go. I'm just squishing that down around the wire. And I'm going to cut this right now because we don't want it that long. Or it's going to really drop down. I need to cut that. Just going to cut it right here. There we go. Oops. Did I not get the wire? There we go. We're just going to wrap this around some more. It may look funky right now, but I promise you it's going to look good when it's done. So these are us getting the branches in the tree. And I may be adding a little more green clay to the bottom here to sort of hold this tree while I'm doing this. I should have put the branches on before I put it down here, to be honest, but I didn't. So we'll just deal with it. As I get green and pavement paint all over my hands from the tile I've been working on. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to thumb up the live and like. And we are making the branches on one of the trees right now. And I sort of just twist these so that they'll look more like a tree branch. And when we get the clay on them, they'll really look like it. Just twist them around. It's real simple. That's all you have to do. There we go. All right. So now we've got 3 branches on here. I'm going to put a few more on before it's over with. And I'll do 1 or 2 up here off the top so it doesn't look like the top of the tree is dead. Thank you everybody for being here. Don't forget to thumb up and like the live. This is part 5. Tomorrow will be part 6. We are actually using resin in this project, as well as riverstone and different acrylic paints to get the effects and lights. Let me see if I can show this with the light on it. If I turn this light off for just a second, you'll see how that house glows. And it will, the windows that we're going to be doing on it are going to be stained glass windows. And I'll show you what that looks like with the light. While I got this light off, it'll sort of look like that because they're going to be river stain alcohol, and it'll actually light up like that and should look pretty good. All right, let's turn the light back on. And this is not glow-in-the-dark clay, folks. It's just the way the clay reacts with the black light, which is pretty awesome. I'm just trying to get this bottom of this right here too. Sorry, the bottom of this tree to be more mesh with the ground here. So I was adding a little more green clay on here to help build that up. There we go, just like that. And I don't want to put any clay on these branches yet, folks, because we want to get them in here, and then I'm going to do some clay. But I may anyway, because I may have to, yeah, see, take them off and actually clay them off and then put them back on, is what my plans are, except for this one, which is on here. I can't pull it off or it'll not go like it should. So we're going to use some white Sculpey clay to do the branches. And we're going to paint these branches is what we're going to do. And then we'll make leaves, small leaves for them. Not a ton, but a few small leaves. So I'm just taking 1 layer of Sculpey white off the top of this brick of clay right here. And I'm going to smoosh down this white Sculpey clay, and then I'm going to run it through the pasta machine so it's more flat, so that when I go to put it on the tree branches I can wrap it really easily. Thank you everybody for being here. Please remember to like and thumb up the live. It really helps. And make sure you're subscribed if you're not already subscribed. In the next week or so I'm going to be working on some metals, hand hammered, and torch work, and possibly also some of Minnow Raccoon's glass handmade artisan beads, which are beautiful. And so it's a real honor to be working for him, as well as he says it is for me, but it is also for me for him. So just trying to, I have no room here, and I put paint on my stone here, and if I'm not careful, I'll have it on everything. So, let's see if I can wipe some of that up. Some water over here out of my bowl. Get some of this off of here so I can work on here with my clay. Yeah, gotta do it. Gotta clean up. Wow. course, with these tree branches, it doesn't matter if they get some of this gray in them because it's going to be run through the pasta machine and then it's going to be painted. So I'm just rolling out this white Sculpey clay that we're going to use for the tree branches on the Fae Mushroom house, fantasy house. Let the magic begin, right? All the little fairies in the making of the house. Yep. Oops, sorry about that. Sorry about my hands, folks. I was trying to get it straightened out so you guys would be able to see what I was doing. Which right now I'm just softening this white clay so it can go through the pasta machine so I can make it out in flat so that I can wrap it around all the tree branches. And then we will color them. Thank you so much for everyone being here. Thank you for thumbing up my live. I really appreciate it. Next week we'll be doing some of my metal work, which will be me using a torch and a hammer. And I'll also probably be wrapping some of Minnow Raccoon's glass, who is also an artisan and made all these beautiful, lovely glass beads to share with me. And we did do a collab together, and we will probably be doing another collab together very soon. Okay, so I'm just smushing this in my hand. And then I'm going to put it through the pasta machine, which I'm going to take the light over here. I need to turn my overhead light on, folks. I had light in here earlier. It was daylight. So, oops, get there. Oops, I'm having screen issues. Come on now. Hold on a second, folks. Oh. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm so sorry. Okay. We're now going to run this through the pasta machine. If you have headphones on or you have speakers that are turned up really loud, make sure you cut them down so that your ears don't get blasted away. Wow. I'm trying to get my arm adjusted here, folks. Give me a second. Okay. Put that up where you can see. Make sure you turn your headsets down. I'm having to use my pasta machine to run through this Sculpey white clay to put on the tree branches of the Fae Mushroom house. Okay. It's kind of neat what you can do with a pasta machine. It really helps soften the clay and spread it out and make it even more usable than it normally would be. There we go. And we're going to come back over here to the Fae Mushroom house. We are working on the tree branches, some of the tree branches. And we're going to wrap them with white Sculpey clay. Then they will be painted, of course. I'm going to take a piece of this right now, right off here like this. Just tear a piece of this off. And we're going to paint these. So they're not going to stay white. They will be painted. So they'll be more natural. Just bending these over a little. And we're going to wrap right out here like this, just like that. And then that over just like that. Push that up there into that. I'm going to use my ball tool here to help out with this. I think it does better than my fingers. There we go. I'm going to have to put another piece of clay in the back there. See where that aluminum foil is showing right there? There we go. All right. Boss Kitty is in here trying to help me behind the scenes, folks, where you can't see her. So we're just smooshing that over. I got green paint under my thumbnails, guys. Sorry, it looks funky, but I can't help it. All right, so I'm going to wrap that around there so it covers that other piece of the aluminum foil up. Just pressing that into there. And that'll almost look like, on that side of the tree, will look like it almost has a knot in it, which is a natural thing for trees to do anyway. I think it's going to look really good when it's done, folks. Just a lot of detail to get everything correct. Go. Just smushing that back that way. I'm going to thin this out a little bit up here if possible. Make it a little thinner. Tear that off. There we go. Trying to make this look a little more natural. There we go, like that. And it'll look even better once I get the paint on it, folks. So don't be shocked. It will look much better. It won't be so phallic looking. All right, so we're working on getting the tree branches on here, folks. Is what we're doing. And then we're going to wrap these two branches too, also in this white clay. I'm going to run this through my pasta machine again, ready for the noise. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. So we're going to get this off here. And I'm going to wrap the shorter one because I have a smaller piece of clay here. Get that out of the way. Trying to make it so you guys can see what I'm doing. I can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. Just going to get this around here like that. Kind of smush it down. There we go. Smushing that down and moving that clay so we can get it to cover everything. Ow, my fingers are cramping and I even took medicine and I'm in pain. So this is a Fae Mushroom house, and we are literally working on the tree branches on the little trees outside. And it will also be painted, so they're not going to stay white. Just kind of roll that up in my hands to kind of give it where it's more on that tree branch. going to put that on there like that. Oops, maybe this way. There we go. Just like that. And that'll look like it's growing right out of the other side, which is really cool. Yeah, it'll look like it's growing right out of it. It's going to be really cool, folks. I promise you, the Fae Mushroom house is a progress. This is process 5, and we are going to be doing part 6 tomorrow, because there's quite a bit to do, because I'm doing the stained glass windows. I'm also doing resin work, folks, so it's going to take quite a bit. So this is part 6. I really thank everyone for, part 5. I really thank everyone for being here. We're going to stop at this point because there's quite a bit still left to do. And we're going to finish up and do some more in part 6. And I'll probably do some off the screen. So anyway, thank you everyone for who was here. Don't forget to thumb up and like my live. Please share it, okay? Be good. God bless. Keep crafting. Keep arting. Whatever you love doing, you can do it. Come back and see me tomorrow. I'll have another live coming up around the same time, 3:30, 4 o'clock, to finish up the Fairy Faux house. Thank you again for being here. Thank you, Mental Raccoon Glass. Thank you, Will Hat. Thank you, Dorothy Gay. Thank you for the gentleman that came on way earlier before anyone else did. He was so awesome. So take care, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. This has been fun. I am a mixed media artist. I do everything from metal to clay to paint. I am a real artist. I really draw and paint, and I also do a lot of heavy-duty hand hammering and torch work of rings and bracelets and other pieces. So thank you so much for being here tonight. God bless. Take care, and come back and see me again tomorrow. We are working on the Fae Mushroom house, and we are in the middle of fixing the trees and getting branches on them. So this is going to be pretty cool, folks. Don't forget to come back, like, share, and subscribe. Bye for now. Thank you again.